All right, pendulums.
I didn't. We see this.
This is fun. Is it raining outside?
All right, so recognize. Before. All right, so what I have. I'm going to do a couple different experiments. One, try different masses. Okay, so we're going to be ready. Here's one click, 2, 3. No, exhilarating. Okay. Now we're going to switch that out with a different mass. Be okay, same. Yes, it's independent of the mass. You all right with that? What about the amplitude? Eventually. Same? You okay with that? Okay, so it's independent of the amplitude. Now, if we change the length, see how it's going faster? Maybe I'll do this. Like that. So, the period of a pendulum is only dependent upon the length of the string. Okay. Also, the acceleration of gravity, so I guess you could go to the moon and you get a different period. But, okay, with that? There is that. Have certain natural frequencies. Natural frequency is the frequency at which an object will most readily vibrate at. This is the natural frequency of this tuning fork. It's been created, engineered, designed to have a certain specific single natural frequency. Okay? Anything that's rigid has a natural frequency. Different objects this bar magnet has a natural frequency that sounds like that. Okay? Screwdriver has a natural frequency that sounds like that. Okay? As it sounds more and more like noise, What that means is it has more than one natural frequency. Um, so the tuning fork was designed to have a specific single natural frequency. Okay. Um, the bells, the reason why the bells sound horrible is because they play more than one note, more than one frequency. It's like, ugh. Okay. So if we take something, all right, so this tuning fork has a natural frequency. Okay. The board, I'm pretty confident, does not have the same natural frequency as this tuning fork. But what I can do is I can force the board to vibrate at a frequency that's not its natural one, but I'm forcing this to vibrate at that same frequency. Okay, this is known as forced vibrations. Back in the day, they used to use this technique to determine if you broke a bone or not. Okay, so they would like take this and they put it on your knee, like, oh, the bone's broken because it forced it to vibrate and it was broken, so it hurts like crazy. Okay, so this is the concept behind a sounding board. So I'm forcing this whole body to vibrate. Okay, that's the point of this. So when you play a note, that forces this whole cavity to vibrate. If you've ever seen a backpacking guitar, it has a smaller body and it's quieter because there's less surface area vibrating. If you just had the strings and played it, it'd kind of sound like an electric guitar unplugged. You all right with that? Okay. So, forced vibrations. When you force an object to vibrate at a certain frequency. Now, crazy things happen if you force something to vibrate at its natural frequency. And this is known as resonance. And when you force something to vibrate at its natural frequency, this is known as resonance. Okay. Oops. Not yet. What I have is I have two tuning forks. They both have the same natural frequency. Okay with that?
Frequencies, which does work.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play one of them. Okay. So what's going on as this plays it? Sound waves are going out, and this guy's like, "Oh yeah, I can dance to that. Yeah, all right, woo." Okay, and it's resonating. Okay, I'm matching the natural frequency of this thing. Now, if I were to change the natural frequency, okay, um, okay, does that make sense? So, it's like I can't dance to that. That's not my natural frequency. But if you match it, hear it? Okay, good with that. Caused it to resonate. Now, there's lots of examples of resonance around us. See how he's matching the natural frequency? Like there's a certain frequency at which this, and he's pushing just the right time. You can try that this summer.
I already have. I really don't care.
Okay?
It's just something that happens to me.
Okay. So, I don't know if you remember your childhood trying to learn how to pump a swing. We like looked at the fifth graders like, how do you do that? They're like sitting there going, oh, come on. And they're like, what? And then all of a sudden, at some point, you realize, hey, there's a rhythm or like a frequency that if you match that, kind of like a pendulum, and at the right time, you're like, oh. And so, right at the right time, you give it a little bit of energy, and causing constructive interference, and it builds and builds and builds and builds. You are causing the swing to resonate.
You eventually do a 360.
Okay? So, when you, I don't know if you ever sang in like the shower, but there's a certain frequency, depending on the bathroom, at which it gets really loud. You found a natural frequency that caused it to resonate. You good with that? Okay. Another example, crystal goblet is going to have a certain natural frequency. We're going to record that.
How old is that?
And we're going to replay it
Oh no.
under a strobe light. Okay, you can see it shake because of the strobe light. They throw a straw in there to show, like, hey, there's vibrations. If you play it loud enough,
And you can break glass with your voice. How old is this?
okay, you can see it shake with the strobe light.
Number 85 for the Voice Instructor Council.
That was me in college.
Okay, that was a lot more serious.
Yeah, it was.
No wonder you look so old.
Okay, misconception. The misconception is you have to sing really high in order to break glass. You just have to match the natural frequency. Okay? Yeah, break. I've had this for 2 decades. I'm not breaking this. This matches my range. I'm not going to go find another one. Go to Goodwill so you can find. Okay, so it needs to be crystal. It can't be just normal glass. Glass sounds more like the bar magnet. There's like lots of, but crystal has a pure single note. Okay, good with that. This is also the trick, like rubbing it, like going around like that.
Not just frequency, it's also intensity.
It
You must have a wow.
Yeah.
You must have a strong.
Turns out that a lot of things have a natural frequency.
Oh God.
They found that bridges have a natural frequency. Back in 1938, in the state of Washington, they built this suspension bridge, and the wind happened to match the natural frequency of the bridge. They call it galloping Gertie. Well, one day, they had really strong winds, and this is the footage from that.
It did collapse. This was deadly. This was in like the 60s.
1940.
You know what's it? This is why they closed the bridge down to let nature kill it. Oh.
Okay, so eventually it collapsed. No one died. They lost that single car and the bridge. But they have since determined, hey, when we engineer a bridge, we need to figure out the natural frequency and make sure that nature can't reproduce that. Okay, kind of an expensive mistake, but
That's why the
Some-
catastrophes exist.
something learned. Okay?
Well, that's why they don't build them like that anymore.
So I know that MythBusters did a thing that disproved this, but I still think it's legit. In some war, I don't know, some revolutionary, probably older than that, I don't know. No, it was old. They had, so armies march, and as they're marching across the bridge, their cadence of their march matched the natural frequency of the bridge. And so as they're marching, it's like they're pumping a swing, and at some point the bridge broke.
At the turn of the
Okay.
century, that bridge with the shock absorbers. Yeah. There
So
was an engineering catastrophe episode about that.
what they did in response to that is they would break cadence and not march uniform, so they wouldn't match the natural frequency. Okay, that wouldn't happen here with our bridges today, but back in the day when they're made out of logs and boards, I could see that happening.
That's why they build them out of
Okay.
literal steel.
So, last video.
Honestly, I don't like watching bridges explode.
Okay, so you see how the pendulums have different lengths?
Yeah. POV, you have fun with them. Yeah. God.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a hypnosis effect. POV, you have fun with it.
alright.
No.
We got a online lab for you. Now we're gonna start. Okay. What I would like you to get done the first day, just today, is to calculate the speed of the wave. Okay? In this simulation, you have lots of different tools, lots of different views, lots of different ways to measure this. I do not give you a specific way to do it because there's lots of them. I leave that up to you to try to figure that out.
So I'm with you at. I'm with you. I do. We get like. I need to.
I will just search this entire